Welcome to another Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Vigne from CZT Sue Jacobs. I had to read because I wanted to find out where the name came from. And so I'm assuming that Vigne with the silent G is appropriate because in the story, and I'll put the link to it under for more inspiration in the description section. She talks about the vine, in doing the tangle, and I'm like, okay, this just must be a way to just a different way to spell vine because we're just getting fancy or something. So if I'm incorrect, someone let me know. Sometimes I found I have to actually go do a little search and see if just to make sure. Because what I might have in my head is not necessarily, going to be right. Okay, so this is a neat organic tangle, and we will start off with this vine. And I'm doing mine on the diagonal. We'll see. I think you should be able to see that fine. Yes. All right. The beginning strokes are kind of like flux, sort of. No. I'm sorry, not flux. Opus or... kind of like a big fescue, something like that. If you're familiar. All right. And if you're not, here's how it goes. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to make a kind of curved line, and then loop it back on itself, and make a big loop. Wow, that looks really cool. Sometimes wow, that's neat. All right. And then I keep trying to decide whether I think I like doing it this way. All right. So the key thing when continuing this vine going up is we want them to be staggered positions. And we will find out why later. Let's do that again. Oh, and sometimes they just end up with some character like that. All right. And then, trying to go up a straight line. And as you do it, like I had to do this several times to kind of get the spacing done right, where I felt like it was right. And it's one you just have to play with. We'll see how this works out. And really, it's because of this next step. So now we'll see how well I did. And two, I was trying to keep in mind the next step as I was doing it, just so that way I would place it right. But I will tell you, and even in my step out, because it's a little tight space there, even if it's not perfect, you know what? We make do, and that's what Zentangle is. And we just make it work. All right, so the next step after you have this part done is about where this comes off here. We're going to start there. And I don't know if it matters how many little bumps, but we're going to just kind of do like a series of little curved lines coming to, about the middle of that-ish. And we're going to do that on both sides. Some of them I'm stretching. I'm like, I can make them a little wider all the way. That's sometimes just what a little bit more practice will do. Meaning, I need to do a little bit more practice. And then like the top one, just kind of, from wherever. You get the idea by this point and can kind of make it similar. So wherever your top is. Okay? Then, and this is kind of like the decoration phase. I mean, so you can, if you have some other way you want to do this, that would be really cool. I was actually thinking... well, let me... I did split this up from Sue's step out. I did kind of divide this. So I'm going to start with making just some curved lines, kind of following this curve and coming from, say, the middle of each of these curved lines and just going down into that base. So you can kind of, like this one, I started auraing this side and then now I've auraed that. So just kind of have them fit in as best as you can figure. And sometimes just adding a little, some extra, like this added a little curve, adds a little character. So part of me thinks, oh, you know what, it looks kind of neat to just stop right there. But on Sue's step out, she goes one step further and kind of, makes a like, no, hashing is when you just do one line. This is a crisscross. So now I'm going the other direction, almost like making a mini grid inside of there. Starting just kind of, under the top. There's not necessarily, a rhyme or reason. And I'm adding a little bit of a curve, trying to follow the curve. Actually, it kind of looks like the, somewhat the base of a rake, maybe. And this one I'm trying to keep my pencil kind of light, so that way it's a little bit thinner than the other markings. And then she adds a little extra decoration on either side. So on this side of this, I guess we'll call it a flower, adds, a similar symbol like that. We'll call it a tethered orb. And then, like a little dot or something. And so it's just, she just has this kind of going on either side. But I think, for those like me that are like, oh, what makes you think of those kind of things? I just don't know. So when I see them, I'm like, oh, that's neat. I'll do that. Versus, I just don't have that where it's like, oh, I think I will do this here, and that will accent it really nicely. Now, from doing Zentangle, there are some things where I'll, extrapolate and say, oh, wait, that looked neat over there. I bet if I did that here, it would be really cool. And I share that I think this is, this is just decoration, so if you wanted to do something else, of course you could. I want to make those just a little bit finer at the end. And that's basically it. Now, if you wanted, I suppose, to add some extra shading, just depending on how it looks. I'm thinking she just has it just like this, and that's it. I'm thinking a number of things. One, you could have some fun with this. So I'm just going to put a little graphite on the outsides, and then you can see if you like it, and then you can do it if you want to. I know also, it could have fun with, the dewdrops or gems, things like that, with this. I was also thinking, so depending on how this base is, you could add a little extra graphite if you wanted to, just to add a little extra depth in there. Yeah. You know what? And I'm putting just what I have left on my tortillon here, which is not a whole lot. Let's just see how that one. Oh. That kind of looks interesting. So you could, if you wanted to, add a little bit to that top. It makes it a little bendy. And let me share, if I've done this before, if I just want a little bit, I will do like this and just rub some, kind of like a paintbrush. Because there are times like this where it's like, I don't want to necessarily put the graphite directly on, whoops, because I know that it's going to be way too dark. So I will do something like that just to assure myself, especially if I just want it something a little bit light. Oh, see, and it just, I don't know, that adds some life to it. So there we go. That is Vigne by CZT Sue Jacobs. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, would love to have a thumbs up. If you liked it enough to see more and you're not already subscribed to the channel, I would love to have you be a subscriber. You just hit the button, and then next to it is the notification bell to let them know how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all. And with it, check out the description section for step outs, ways to connect with me if you like, because I do a combination of paid and free classes, and that information you can find on my website. Also ways to connect on Facebook. And let's see. I think with that, that's it. Again, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you happy tangling.